Today we're grooming Dakota. He's an 8-year-old woolly husky, and he is in need of a groom today. So Dakota here smells like skunk. And it was the owner's request that something be done about that. But unfortunately, nothing can be done about that. So I kind of wanted to explain why that's the situation. No, 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 no. You cannot exit, sir. Okay, so back in October, Dakota and his sibling went out on an adventure and they both got sprayed by a skunk. Now, the problem is, after they got sprayed by a skunk, they went swimming in a pond and then came home. So when your animal gets sprayed by the skunk, the absolute last thing that you want to do is get them wet. Because once you get them wet, the oils seep deep into their coat, oftentimes even attaching to their skin, and then it's nearly impossible to get the smell out of them. So because they kind of went for a swim after, they unfortunately made it nearly impossible for their humans to be able to remove the skunk smell. And so when they came home, the owners did the baking soda trick. So the baking soda trick is you take 1 part baking soda to 1 part hydrogen peroxide, and then I usually add a little bit of dish soap and a little bit of toothpaste that does not have xylitol. So I think I usually use Crest toothpaste. And I turn this into a paste, and then I put the paste directly on the animal, especially where they got sprayed, which is usually the face and neck. And I let that sit for about 15 to 20 minutes. Because it's hydrogen peroxide, it will stain your dog's coat, especially if your dog is black, for example. It usually turns the coat red. But it's the only way to get rid of the skunk smell. But the #1 rule is you don't wet them first. You just put this on them dry and let it absorb the smell. When you have a woolly coat, like this guy here, it can be difficult to get the smell out because there's so many layers of coat. So since then, she has brought them to the groomer several times. She has bathed them herself. She did do the hydrogen peroxide when they came home, but because they had already been in water prior to coming home, they kind of ruined it and made it impossible to get rid of the smell. So she asked, or she mentioned, like, maybe there's something I can use, or I just need to do a really good job washing the face. And unfortunately, that's not the case. You guys are gonna watch me groom him today. He's still gonna smell like skunk afterwards. You kind of just have to wait until all of that coat sheds out, and then eventually they'll smell better. But yes, it's been, I guess, 9 months and they still stink. Now I'm going to do a fluff off, and I'm gonna do a bit of a whitening shampoo as well on his white spots. Sorry, you're gonna shake like crazy. I'm putting a little bit of this on the face just because obviously that's where he got sprayed. So she wants it really well shampooed. And then I'm going to add some Pure Fur. I'm just trying to scrub the face extra. Thank God he's good for it. I still don't think it's going to help with the skunk spray, or the skunk smell, I should say. But we're gonna try anyways. That skunk smell on you, buddy, is potent for it being 9 months ago. You guys, so huskies are notorious for actually killing skunks, not just getting sprayed. They really don't get deterred from the skunk spraying them, and they will just murder them. So that could be why they smell extra bad, because they probably didn't give up after they had been sprayed and probably put the skunk in their mouth, and it was just a whole thing. We're even gonna put some straight shampoo on you. How's that sound? Just to get extra soapy. And then we will add the whitening, which smells like grapes. And maybe that will help, but I doubt it. Okay, let's rinse you and then I'll do the whitening. Okay, so I gave him another shampoo in purple shampoo. I didn't film it just because we had got enough bathing footage. I didn't need to add more. And then I conditioned him in Fluff Off conditioner. Now I'm going to towel dry him and we are going to be off to the blow dryer. You keep trying to get out of the shower. You're not very successful at it. I don't smell the skunk, but I also could just be immune to smelling it now because I've been in the room with him for a bit. I gotta go over you with the absorber because you have a spongy coat that likes to really soak up water and probably skunk spray. Okay, so I put him in the belly band simply because he keeps trying to do this thing where he uses his back end to like back out. So he did it in the shower and then he did it again on the table. And obviously I don't want him to fall off the table. So I'm making sure to keep him in the belly band for his own safety. Oh. I still smell the skunk, buddy. You're doomed to be a skunky boy forever. you down in conditioner. These front legs are matted, unfortunately. Hopefully I don't have to totally shave them. Okay, and first I'm going to take the dematter to these front legs. Now, they did blow a lot of coat, but not all of it for some reason. So this dog has a very similar coat to my Pomeranian, who has alopecia, and the coat is not normal. It doesn't shed normal. So for example, I dyed Melvin one time, all blue. It was a product I was testing that's like a blue shampoo that is meant to color a dog. And so I bathed him in this blue shampoo, and he was blue for an entire year. And the reason for that is because his coat doesn't go through normal shedding cycles. So because of that, he doesn't really shed much, which is kind of nice, but it also means his coat doesn't release as much. So it makes sense for him to have stayed blue for so long. And he isn't a dog that gets a haircut, right? So it's not like his hair grows and then you cut it off and then you start again. With dogs like that, obviously as the hair grows, you would just shave off the blue and then the dog would be back to its original color. So this dog has a very similar coat, and I do know that in Arctic breeds, that kind of alopecia or coat type is very prominent. And so that kind of explains why this guy still smells so badly of skunk, because his coat is not releasing as much as, you know, the average dog of his breed. And so therefore, if the hair is not shedding much and you have hair that stinks like skunk and it's not shedding off, then it's going to sit there for quite some time. So eventually his coat will shed off, but it doesn't go in normal cycles. That's my guess based off of the type of coat type that he has. It's just very similar to my Pom. So I used my dematter first. Now I am using my coral slicker brush, and it seems to be coming out. So this is coat that's basically trying to shed, but it's getting stuck. And so it's not shedding out properly. Okay, good boy. Obviously this guy is very used to grooming. Doesn't seem to care much about it at all. He's just kind of like, yep, I'm here. Right? He did try getting off the table at the start, but then I removed the happy hoodie and he seemed to be fine. So I just think sometimes what happens is the happy hoodie moves forward and it goes over top of their eyes, and I think once that happens they kind of panic because they can't see properly. So it really depends on the animal. Some of them do better with it, some of them don't. But in his case, as soon as I removed it, he seemed to be pretty chill. So I'm trying to make sure that I remove as much of this undercoat as possible, because any excess coat that doesn't need to be there is just harboring the smells. So if I can make sure that I get it all out, he's not going to not stink at the end of this, but he may stink a lot less. Okay, this side is brushed out. Let's do your paws. He is very, very good, even for brushing sensitive areas. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Okay, you have to wait. Yep, you need your nails clipped. Very little, but you still need them clipped. Okay, this side is done. Let's switch you to the other side because that whole side needs to be brushed and paws need to be done. Almost done, buddy. Almost done. All done. So let's see how long that groom took me. Altogether, this groom took me 2 hours and 45 minutes. If you guys liked this video and you want to see more complimentary grooms just like Dakota's, don't forget to hit that follow or subscribe button and share with all of your friends. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you again in a few days.